It's January 27th. That was 20 days, because if we think about Breonna Taylor, who were going on years, and where are those charges?
Right.
So when we talk about hiding behind a situation in terms of, oh, I'm the police, I'm greater than, nah, brother, you just like the rest of us, and this is the value on your life. 20 days.
Right.
Now face the charges.
Another episode with Political Talk with KD, you guys. I'm thankful to have you guys back, but we're going to jump in and talk about Mayor Frank Scott. Well, I want to congratulate him because he went through a hard campaign with Little Rock, you guys. I mean, his name was slander, drug through the mud. If it was a fight, he just would have got stomped. But at the end of the fight, he still won. No matter of all the bad things that were posted around town, the commercials, all of that, Steve Landers, it just made you know, it showed who you really are. Like, you know, and I feel like Little Rock, you did a great job electing a great mayor for the city of Little Rock. So good job, Mayor Frank Scott. We're going to give you your flowers before we get into what we're here for. Okay, so you guys, so we've been hearing a lot of speculation. I know you guys just listen to the TikTok. We've been hearing a lot of issues about the Memphis situation. One guy even came, and I'm gonna just tell you guys his name. His name is Jordan Rivera. He comments the most, you know, craziest thing. I'm gonna just say that he has a different thought. He is a conservative, so some of his thoughts are more, you know, direct. But he was basically, he commented, he was just like, why won't you report about, go report on what's happening in Memphis, Tennessee. So guess what, Jordan Rivera? We're here reporting what's going on in Memphis, Tennessee. At the time, I said that has nothing to do with Arkansas. I said that's just like asking Walgreens to be in a Walmart commercial. That's a neat slapper. All right, but Jordan Rivera, I hope you're listening because you always have something to say. But guess what? Your opinions matter also. So keep commenting, keep saying what you're saying, even if you don't agree with some of the things that I say. I appreciate everyone who listens. But let's get into the real reason why we're here. Back to Mayor Frank Scott. So Mayor Frank Scott, as it's posted here, you guys, he made a statement to the city of Little Rock, Arkansas. It was issued January 27, 2023. He says, I grieve deeply for TYRE Nichols and his family after the despicable and horrific death he suffered at the hands of 5 former Memphis police officers. While police departments across the country have changed and improved, their practices have become of your consistent pleas for justices. There's so much still more work left to do. As your mayor, I am personally committed to being accountable and transparent police department and will continue our efforts to ensure that no one ever is treated in a senseless way TYRE Nichols was treated. My sincere prayers are with his family and the city of Memphis during his tragedy. Now, Mayor Frank Scott, I would just like to say before I get in my next bill that I do appreciate you for putting up this post because you wasn't wrong about anything that you said, and for you to speak up speaks volumes, because if you didn't speak up at the time, that says a lot about you too. But you are choosing to do these things every time when it comes down to simple moral human rights of people, and I appreciate you for that. So let's give him another hand clap. Good job, for real. All right, so basically, to wrap all that up, though, I don't know if you guys remember this situation, but these 3 officers, Officer Riddle, Deputy King, and Deputy White, that case happened 5 months ago in Crawford County. I believe that we all seen the video, but let's just go ahead and watch this video real fast together.
One of the law enforcement officers involved is a Mulberry police officer. The other 2 are Crawford County Sheriff's deputies. According to the Crawford County Sheriff, none of these men are rookies, and they have all been in law enforcement for some time.
That's a shame.
Mulberry police officer Thel Riddle,
Lord.
King, and Deputy Levi White have been identified as the officers involved in Sunday's incident.
Political Talk with KD.
Rookies that have been
sometime.
Bell Riddle has been a Mulberry police officer since
I'm
March
just
of
confused on
2017.
how he
The
got
sheriff
away
says he
with
worked at the
not
Crawford
being
County Sheriff's
charged.
Office in the past before
He
leaving
look
in the
like he
early
crooked.
2000s
Look at
to
him.
go work in Oklahoma, then returning to work in Mulberry.
Mm,
In August of 2019, we spoke to Officer Riddle
Oh,
after he was recognized by Senator
Senator
John
Bozeman.
Bozeman for stepping in to
Okay.
help salvage the belongings of military members whose
Mr. Help
belongings were inside a
Everybody.
moving truck that caught fire in Mulberry. Everything inside was believed to be a total loss, but that wasn't the case. Here is an excerpt from that 2019 interview.
It's all a part of ethics and morals.
He look like he lying.
Doing the right
Ethics
thing
and
when no one else
morals.
is watching.
Look at him. He look nervous like he finna get caught doing
That's what I was
something.
trying to achieve.
As for Crawford County deputies Zach King and Levi White, the sheriff says one has been in law enforcement for 3 or 4 years and the other has been in law enforcement for 5 or 6 years.
That's
He did not specify the
embarrassing.
exact
This is what it
experience for
looks
either.
like when
Attorney Carrie
you've been
Jernigan,
going
who
hard
is
for the
representing
company
your
and
sister,
they just had to
says
make
she
a
requested an
sacrifice.
investigation
Y'all
into
two
Deputy
wasn't
Levi
important,
White
but
a month ago
the other
regarding
one
excessive
was.
force complaint from another one of her
Look at her.
clients.
She look like she lying too. She didn't send no reporting in.
Never had to do that on an officer, and it's not something I took lightly.
Jernigan believes she made the formal complaint correctly. She even made her client available to give a full statement about what allegedly happened on July 13th. She says she hasn't heard anything
She
back.
lying. She just lying. They can't be trusted.
I had not seen, Mr. White was not somebody I knew, but the description of what happened to my client in July versus that video seemed almost identical. And so we're just of the position it didn't have to even take place yesterday.
We have asked Jernigan for any paperwork related to her other client's complaint regarding Deputy White. We'll let you know when we have more details on that complaint. Catherine Gilker, 5 News.
Y'all probably like, why is he showing us another video? Now, this video, it got a little bit more insight into like, yeah, just like he's saying, on what's really going on, and actually shows us the fight. So that's why I want to show y'all this one too. Now, take a close look when we look in this fight at what they are doing, and I want y'all to tell me if this is excessive force. Okay.
But it may be difficult to watch before we bring it up. The Department of Justice telling us within the last
See,
hour that they believe
oh my,
that these two now former deputies used excessive force.
and this is on camera, all three. He could tell them to stop. He's not telling them to stop or anything.
Cell phone video later shared with KRK went
And they're all white.
shared around the world. You can see the deputies kicking and punching the man. Federal authorities say the man suffered.
And they're not charged with attempted murder.
Officer that you see, that is a local cop in Mulberry. He was not indicted. Both White and King are scheduled to be back in court on April 30. If convicted, Katrin, they could face up to 10 years in prison and a fine of up to $250,000.
My thing is, since we're talking about accountability, let's hold all three, not just two, accountable now. Let's not wait till April. Let's hold them accountable now. Since we're talking about accountability, and I know that this has nothing to do with Little Rock, but he's making a start. At least he's telling his constituents that he's trying to make his police officers accountable for their actions. We have to hold our elected officials that we elected in office accountable to do these things. So, Murfreesboro, the city that this happened in, I encourage you guys to take this up with your mayor, and take this up with your police department of why is this not an urgent issue. Police brutality is something that really I feel like is common in Arkansas, and I feel like we are bigger than that. Nobody is above the law. And on my last episode, we were talking about how elected officials, I believed how when it comes to the justice system, they're above the law. I believe that with police officers also. You know what's crazy? For all my listeners, I want you guys to know, and you may could relate to this. This is the most quietest that I've ever heard Blue Lives Matter. Like, they movement usually on everything. They'll turn it about Blue Lives Matter, anything. Especially if it has something to do with Black Lives Matter. This is the most quiet that I've heard them. You know why? It's because the Memphis situation has something to do with black officers. But what's kind of like confusing them is we're still holding them accountable. And I want African Americans who are listening to this, just because you are the police, and I see this a lot in the South, they have this mentality that they think that they've made it. They think that, you know, that they're better than everybody, or they have this power to lock everybody up. But at the same time, no matter of the badge and the uniform that you have on, you still face injustices just like us. On the matter of the 5 black men who were arrested, who were police officers and who were convicted of murder, they were convicted in 20 days, in a span of 20 days. These guys who, they didn't kill him, but they used excessive force, which could have killed him by banging his head on the ground, punching him. It's obviously the same thing. We cannot take these things lightly. And I feel like the person who was battered on, I feel like he felt like that he was near death in his life. So I don't feel like that they should just get a 10-year sentence, maybe, because they're not convicted yet. I feel like that they should be held accountable according to the law and should have steeper charges, being that they're not rookies. So we already watched that video. They're not rookies. So they know the protocol of how to de-escalate things. And I feel like from our observation of watching the video, he was not being aggressive. He was not even being verbally aggressive. He wasn't even... I work in a juvenile facility, so I know what aggressive is. He was not doing none of those things. He was at the one where he could have complied with verbal de-escalation. All this money getting allocated towards the police department, it needs to be towards the escalation skills. You don't have to use excessive force or your gun. Now, I feel like, again, more elected officials, we need to hold these guys accountable to address situations towards holding police officers accountable. Also, elected officials also, because nobody is above the law. And most of you may not know, but Memphis is pretty close to it's pretty close to Little Rock. It's about 2 hours away from Little Rock. If you're in Pine Bluff, it's about 2 hours and 30 minutes. So it's pretty close to us. So this situation happened fast. I believe that they did a great job holding the police officers accountable. I believe that should be across the board for everyone. It shouldn't be waiting over 5 months like we are in the state of Arkansas. It should be handled in the span of how theirs was handled, and the right charges, not charges that is a slap on the wrist. Nobody is above the law. Really, I don't say that about 6 times, but nobody is above the law. We have a constitution that supersedes everything. And we have to uphold that. Otherwise, we wouldn't have it, right? So, enough of my opinion. You guys, I want to listen to what you guys feel. Do you think that our elected officials are making effort toward holding our police accountable, especially since billions of dollars is being allocated towards their departments? Leslie Rutledge would know about that, but that's another episode. So I just wanted to keep you guys informed. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. We're going to talk about it on my Instagram page, because I know I'm going to have some comments and people wanted to say anything, because I haven't posted this episode yet, but you're going to have that time. So thank you for tuning in again. Once again, I'm going to have my theme song at the end. So see you guys next time. Political Talk with Katie would like to take this time to pray for all families who are affected by this situation. But guess what? If we don't hold our public officials accountable, who will? Tune in next episode.